Imagine waking up to a world where the stock market crashes overnight, fighter jets are falling from the sky, and the very ground beneath your feet is no longer safe. This isn't a dystopian novel. This is India's reality in May 2025. Believe me, I get it. It's like that pair of shoes you keep tripping over. But you just can't throw them out because, well, history. But this time things got real fast. In May 2025, tensions boiled over, and the costs, well, they weren't just measured in words at the UN. So buckle up, because we're diving into India's May 2025 conflict and unpacking the economic and military hits the country took. Let's be honest, nobody wins in these situations, but understanding the losses, that's the first step to hopefully maybe one day not repeating them. All right, let's talk money, or rather the lack of it. See, conflicts aren't just bad for peace talks and morning commutes. They're terrible for your wallet too. When news of the conflict hit the Indian stock market, well, it did what any rational market does when faced with uncertainty. It panicked. Picture a room full of pigeons suddenly realizing they're locked in with the cat feathers flying everywhere. The Sensex Nifty, these aren't just fancy financial terms. They're the heartbeat of the Indian economy, and that heartbeat? It skipped a few beats, let me tell you. We're talking about an 880-point drop on the Sensex. That's like finding out your favorite samosa stall just doubled their prices overnight. And it wasn't just the big players. Mid-cap and small-cap indices took an even bigger hit. It's like the financial world collectively decided to hold its breath. And trust me, nobody wants to see what happens when that breath has to be let out. Okay, nobody likes talking about this part, but here we are. War, conflict, whatever you call it. It's a messy business, and I'm not talking about the diplomatic kind. India, with its military might, well, they faced some tough realities on the ground. Now, I'm not saying India's military is a joke, but Pakistan wasn't throwing paper airplanes back at them either. Reports suggest at least 2 Indian fighter jets, including one of those fancy French-made Rafale jets, were shot down. And you know it's bad when they find the wreckage on your side of the border. Then there's the drone game. Pakistan claimed they swatted down 25 Indian drones like they were annoying mosquitoes at a picnic. Now, I'm no military expert, but losing expensive equipment like that, that's got a sting, especially when you're trying to balance the books after that stock market nosedive. Wars aren't fought in a vacuum, folks, and what happens on the front lines inevitably spills over. Pakistan, not content with just playing defense, launched their own offensive, codename Operation Banyan-ul-Marsood. Catchy, right? Their targets? Indian air bases. Think of it like this. You're having a disagreement with your neighbor, and instead of passive-aggressively trimming your shared hedge, they decide to park a tank on their lawn. Now, India downplayed the damage, but even a little damage to a military base ain't cheap. We're talking about potential hits to BrahMos missiles, S-400 systems. These aren't your everyday household appliances, people. And don't even get me started on the civilian areas caught in the crossfire. Homes, schools, hospitals, all feeling the heat, literally. Look, we can talk about economic indicators and military hardware until the cows come home, but let's be real, the real tragedy here, the human cost. At least 60 civilians, innocent people just trying to live their lives, caught in the crosshairs. Imagine having to flee your home, leaving everything you know behind because the ground beneath your feet is no longer safe. Schools shut down, hospitals overflowing, families torn apart. That's the reality of conflict, and it's a reality that leaves scars far deeper than any bomb crater. We're talking about a generation traumatized, futures uncertain, and a collective grief that hangs heavy in the air. So where do we go from here? On May 10th, a ceasefire was agreed upon, thanks to some heavy lifting from the international community. It's like your parents stepping in during a sibling squabble, except in this case it's the US, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey telling everyone to chill. But let's be clear, a ceasefire isn't a cure-all, it's a band-aid on a deep wound. The underlying tensions, the mistrust, the fear, those don't magically disappear overnight. Both sides are still on high alert, fingers hovering over the metaphorical buttons. Will this fragile peace hold? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the road to lasting peace, it's paved with dialogue, understanding, and a whole lot of uncomfortable conversations. Hit the like and subscribe button for more videos.